323 Starlight. Where do you hope to see D&D Beyond by the end of 21, like slate and feature wise? That is a very big question that I might not have all of the specifics for, but I can tell you that as we introduce things like shared dice rolling, I do believe that 21 is a year that we're going to see some significant headway towards an eventual, and again, it might not be in 21, but an eventual virtual tabletop. I think that we're going to find new ways to manage and connect in 21 through D&D Beyond that we haven't had before. And then I will also say that we are hopefully going to shore up the foundations of what is really working very well for D&D Beyond, i.e. character management and so on. So I think before the end of the year, we're going to be in a really good place where some of these new rules that have come across in the game in the last couple of years, we are covering those at an acceptable level. And so those are all of our goals for 21. And I do believe that we're going to be able to follow through on those and make all those things happen. Callus Ship TD. Yeah, I sorry, I don't know that one. Is there a plan to add DM rewards and beneficial slash detrimental properties for magic items in the character sheet? That is something that we're probably going to get into a little bit more as we start to look a little more closely at inventory management. And I don't know exactly where that's going to fall in the roadmap, but it is definitely in that area, kind of right at the short term. So we'll see if and when we're able to get to that. But yeah, I do think that it is something that we will be able to do. Let's see. Darth Millerus updated on being able to edit the spell list for Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by edit the spell list for them. The spell list, would be working. If you're talking about changing out spells that are there, that is not something that we're typically going to do for one of the official classes, but you can homebrew and try to make that happen. So if I'm missing something there, please follow up and hopefully I can get to it. Or if someone can clarify for you in chat. Meerkat Manor, will you all create a core bundle that can be giving as a gift that includes the. Well, now that you mention this, we're not going to have a core bundle like that that gives the three of those books. There are no plans for that at this time, but I can mention that we are going to be emerging after the break and be offering a new bundle that is a player's bundle that is going to include the player's handbook and several of the other source books that are very aimed at players. So we've had a very high demand for that. Lots of people want something like that. And so that is something that we intend to provide once we get back for the break from the break. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be a great way, if mostly what you do is play, for you to pick up the books that you need there. But as far as the other core rule books, which they don't always refer to them as that in fifth edition, but I am well aware of what you mean here. That is not something that we currently have planned, but we'll see how the demand for that shakes out as we go into next year too. Air Dion, what feature are you looking forward to the most for next year? It's definitely getting into some of the virtual tabletop. At least again the beginnings of that. Very excited. That's where we've been marching for some time now, and so we're starting to get closer. Again, shared dice rolling is one of the first steps here, and we're very excited about that. Rav Bunny. Next year, can we have a DDB holiday ugly sweater? I really wish. I need to make that happen, don't I? I doubt that it's something we would be able to sell, but you could, perhaps see it on me or the team. But yeah, that's a great idea, and I need to make that happen. Alt F4 will help. It normally doesn't. Do you have a favorite winter related setting, campaign, or creepy Fey encounter? Wow, that's a big one. I'm not sure the setting. So I have not played through Rime of the Frost Maiden, and I imagined that would be very wintry and pretty engaging campaign to play through, from what I have read. But I will say that we had our Roll in the Family holiday special last night, with DM Brennan Lee Mulligan, B. Dave Walters, Kelly Knox, and myself, and our kids playing some D&D. So if you missed that, you can check out the VOD. We were doing that for charity last night, for some COVID related relief. And we ended up doing a very fun winter related setting, and, a frozen lake, and a mournful Fey Queen singing as she's skating over the ice. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I won't get into too much more because of spoilers, but you can check that one out. And so that's one of those, like, it just happened last night, and so it's very fresh in my mind. So that's the one I'll stick with. Sam Wiseo, when will barbarians get a rage option on character sheets? So I believe what you mean by this is the temporary effect of rage actually changing your statistics to match what's going on while you're enraged. And so this temporary effect system is something that we have actually started talking about, and something that is not, I wouldn't say that it's on the long-term roadmap anymore. And so other than that, can't give you an update, but it is something that's on our mind and we're talking about. Oh, do you hear my little jingle bell here? Like, I keep hearing it like every once in a while. All right. Matthew FICO, was it intimidating playing with Trinity, the queen of throwing shade? Trinity, that little girl is something else. I got back on that Zoom call in preparation for the game last night, and I genuinely thought all of the children there, I thought they had all aged 10 years. They look so old now. They grow up so fast. But yeah, Trinity is amazing. All of those kids play incredibly. I encourage everyone, as you're going into the holiday break, if you have children, in your sphere that you can contact through Zoom, and do some kind of a remote connection with, I really encourage you, if you've never done it before, jump in over this holiday break. It's a wonderful time to try to get them playing, and you will never believe how fun it is, because there is something about the mind of a child and how that creativity just flows. And it's a ton of fun to play. And Trinity, Kaylin, Lexi, Maddie, Luke, all of them are an absolute joy to play with. The Abyssal Chicken, will we ever be able to homebrew vehicles, weapons, and other mundane items? That is the plan. We don't know when that will be in place, but we do plan to allow you to homebrew for all of those things. Adriandus, I see on the Trello board that real-time messaging and real-time messaging dice are now listed under full release. Is this the back end work for the upcoming? This is, so yeah, I think we're going to be going into some changes with that Trello board as we go into the next year. I don't think it's serving our purposes very well any longer. And of course, we'll share with you what's going to take its place, and what we're going to do instead as we get into next year. But I believe what they would be talking about there is we do have an internal build of all of that working. So it's probably just talking about that we have that internally there. And so we will, we have been using that internally, and we'll see, when we release that to the public. But that's one of the reasons the Trello board isn't maybe working, because there are steps that are hard sometimes to explain to the public without further context. So we're going to be trying to do some other things there. Will could have been lots of consonants. Can we see what is on the front of your sweater? So I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is the Avengers. I am a huge fan. So yeah, this is Avengers. Let's see. Saber Runner, will we be able to change the rolling method in the future? I am going to make some assumptions about your question here and think that you mean to do different dice configurations, and some of the variant methods of rolling that people have introduced out there. I'm sure that's something that we can get to over time. As we talked about in the past, our approach is typically to try to offer whatever is officially presented as the core and the base. And so, since that is the method that is presented in the player's handbook, kind of as the default there, then that is what we have gone with in the short term. But we will see what happens with the next part of it. I like rolling because you can get a low roll below 8 for role playing. A low con or dex is a fun twist if you aren't min maxing thoughts. I definitely like rolling. If I'm doing a home game, I'm doing rolling all the time. If I'm not doing a home game, typically where everybody feels like they're on a level playing field, I use point buy or standard. Raven DeMarco, can we get a response laptop slash desktop character sheet that is wider than current? I have to keep scrolling to see everything when there is room on the left and right. Yeah, we've talked about this, and I think that as wider monitors become more of the norm, that's something that we would explore. We have some pretty great analytics that tell us what screen sizes are being used across D&D Beyond. And so at the moment, those wider screen sizes are a very, very surprisingly small percentage of people who are using DDB. I understand that that could be a chicken and egg thing, that people don't want to use it on the wider because it's not responding and going wider like that. But it is one of the data points that we look at pretty, deeply to make these kind of decisions. But I wouldn't expect this in the short term, but it's something that we'll keep an eye on and see about for the future. Spartan Man 23 with the new summon spells, Beast, Fey, etc. Is there a way to add that creature stat block on the extras section? New summon spells. Is there a way to add that creature stat block on the extra section? Oh, yes, I'm with you now. That is definitely something that we will be looking for the best ways to do. Some of the scaling and everything else associated there is going to require some additional development, but it's something we'll be looking into to figure out. Artemis Themp question. I just wanted my answer to match your question. The Abyssal Chicken, will we ever be able to upload custom images for character sheet backgrounds like we can for character portraits? Never say never, but it's not something that we currently have planned. But again, I wouldn't mind seeing that myself. So we'll see what happens. Thunder Speaks, will there be more animated dice sets in the future? Absolutely. Really looking forward to some. We've got one that hasn't released yet. That's very very cool. You'll see what I mean when it comes out. It's very cool. All right, all drama. When will hit dice rolling be available directly from the short rest pop up? Yeah, that I thought that was. Am I just completely in the wrong there? Let me choose. I'm a Boros Legionnaire. I don't even know what that means. All right, so coming here. Yeah, so you can spend hit dice. Is this not what we're talking about here? Um, if it's not, feel free to clarify, or hopefully somebody can answer that for you in the chat as well. Oh, sorry, I forgot I wasn't sharing my screen anymore. I went to the character sheet and looked at the sidebar when you do short rest, and it does provide the ability to track the hit dice. If maybe I'm missing something there. So if I am, I apologize. Let's see. Oh, I think okay. I reread it. I'm there. It's been a long year. So roll directly from there. That is something, just like with other areas of the character sheet where we are doing rolls, that is something that we will get to over time. We'll tackle all of the parts of the character sheet that have dice expressions or dice rolling. That's something that we will get to over time. Artemis Themp, I gifted Tasha's to my DM on November 30th and wonder if I'm eligible for the gift dice. If you have ever gifted anything to anyone, you are eligible. So from the time gifting became a thing to January 5th or 4th, I guess is the last day there, you will be eligible if you do gifting. Art Arcade, when you throw the holodice, can you add a glass breaking sound because you're rolling gifts? I'm not sure what's going on with what's going on with the gift dice. So we'll see what can happen. We'll take it under advisement. All right. Let's see. Uh, sorry, a lot of duplicates that I'm sorting through here. Vaxum, why did 2020 have to have a DC check of 25? I think it's closer to 30 some of these days. We rolled 20s with advantage. Yeah, yeah. I guess another way to look at that is it sure is good that we were rolling advantage in 2020 because if we hadn't been able to roll advantage, we might not have been able to keep up with that really tough DC. So maybe another way to look at it, but I know that it has been very challenging for many people out there, and my heart goes out, and I just hope we can all remember we're in this together, and that we can come out on the other side of it if we continue to help one another and love one another. All right, let's see. Saber Runner, can we see the actual hit points for monsters on Stream Heroes? Oh, absolutely not. That's all just smoke and mirrors, and we need to obfuscate everything we can with that. I'm just joking. I don't know. Like Stream Heroes is a little side project that I hope has been fun for everyone. We've got some more things planned for it. But Thomas and I are the ones that put a little bit of effort and nights and weekends into that, and we will hopefully over time have a more complete offering. It looks like everyone took out the monster very quickly today, so congratulations on getting Snowmane down that fast. Let's see. Sorry, lots of duplicates. uh Yeah, okay. Dragoonflea, are you pushing more for your own tabletop for dice sharing, or might there be a collaborative opportunity to share dice while using something like Roll20? The D&D Beyond dice are very pretty. We are definitely doing our own tabletop things, but I do believe that there are some community ways for D&D Beyond dice to be usable in Roll20. So that's something that is available out there. So hopefully you can discover what those things are. I don't know all of those community provided solutions out there. We are certainly not against integration with some of the existing platforms, but there's a lot of complexity behind that. And so as we have the opportunities to do that, we will do it. But we also do plan to provide the ability to do that ourselves over time. Are Darkade, do you prefer Theater of the Mind or maps? I'm always surprised by how many people want VTT because DDB is great for Theater of the Mind and character driven campaigns. I will note that I think that you can have character driven campaigns and still use like tactical maps. So I do want to clarify that. I use both Theater of the Mind and maps quite a bit, actually. I would say Theater of the Mind mostly, and a lot of that probably does come down to I prefer to just simply play over a video conference solution using D&D Beyond. And so I know that a lot of people will fall into that category, but I will also say that I think one of the reasons that people are very turned off by existing VTTs is the barrier for entry is just a little too high for the prep and for the play using those solutions. And so, what our goal is going to be there is to make virtual tabletop functionality a little easier to play with a less steep learning curve. So, hopefully, we can succeed at that. And I think that using maps remotely, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, will be a little bit easier than it is today. But I will say that I do love Theater of the Mind because you are never missing minis. You're never missing terrain or anything else when you're using Theater of the Mind. Let's see. Puppetar 12, are there any updates on your rock opera bard play? A head full of backstories. So, yeah, quick one. I have recorded all of the songs. So there are 12 Coldplay parody songs that are telling the story of a player that is far too involved in creating the backstory for one of their characters. We all know those players, and sometimes we are those players. And so it tells a story about how all of that goes. And yeah, so all 12 of the songs fully recorded now, and we're in pre-production on the music videos. So we'll see how much I can get done over the holiday break. That one's going to be a lot of fun. All right, maybe time. Have we done our last Holidice giveaway? I want to make sure that we have had all the time in the world to make sure we do that. I'm looking for chat. Lauren, can you like give me a thumbs up or something? Yep, Melly, there's Melly. I saw Melly with a yep. All right, so we're gonna find one last little question here, and I guess this is a great one to end on. Adventure Fight, not a question, but it's been a heck of a year, and I hope the DDB team has a safe and happy holiday break. And I genuinely wish and extend that well wishing to everyone out there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us this year. I want to give a very heartfelt special thanks to our team. It has been a challenging year transitioning to remote work, not being able to see each other in person, and all of the other challenges that have come. The team, you have persevered, you have made adjustments, you've been flexible and adaptable, and we thank you for that. Thank you for all of the hard work. And for our fans out there, we could not do any of this without you. So thank you so much. You mean more to us than you know. The feedback that you provide, both negative and positive, helps us improve, helps us grow, and brings a smile to our face. So thank you very, very much for that. And I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season, whatever you're celebrating. I hope that you have a wonderful time with that, and that again, let's pat ourselves on the back for making it through this, as Adventure Fight says here, heck of a year. Much appreciated. I will catch you. I think the first one might not be the first week of January, but the week after that, we'll be back for dev updates. So I will catch everyone on the flip side. Later, Gators.
Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is available now on D&D Beyond. Purchase before January 5th to unlock the Cauldron dice set, as well as character sheet backdrops, themes and frames.